We're gonna start at Genesis 13. Shalom, Israel. This is Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You already know what it is. It's Tuesday Brotherhood class, man. But we teach the importance of brotherhood, man. Brotherhood is an awesome and mighty weapon, man. And when you got brotherhood between you and your kinsmen, according to the flesh, man, that's just what makes you a stronger nation. The nations round about us, they have brotherhood. That's what keeps them. That keeps you from seeing Arabs in the poorhouse or seeing Chinese people. You know what I'm saying, living under a bridge. Now the white, our oppressor, he has brotherhood when it comes to just getting money. But if you ain't getting money with him, he wouldn't give a damn about where you live at, how you living, because they starve their own people in their own kingdom. That's our brotherhood. And somewhere along that line, that's where we picked up our brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Just on this the after day of Martin Luther King Day, you know what I'm saying, who taught us that having brotherhood with the other nations around us is what's better than having brotherhood amongst each other. Like Officer Yatazak always say, and like it was taught before him, that he's the reason that took us from being employers to being employees. The reason why we don't have our own businesses, our own neighborhood gated communities where we police ourselves and govern ourselves. He's the reason why our oppressors and any other nation sits over the top of us. But today wanted to go further into our ancestral, instinct of brotherhood. You know, where did the spirit of Christ or the spirit of brotherhood, have its first inklings at, or at least a brother in our ancestry who was an ultimate brother. You know what I mean? So we're gonna start off, with the story of Abraham and Lot. Many of us we've already went over the story of Abraham and Lot, and we do understand that Lot was Abraham's son-in-law, or really nephew. You know what I mean? Who went and he traveled with him after they departed from Abraham's father. And Abraham, he had that brother there. He was an awesome brother, a very awesome brother, and so awesome, that while he's traveling with his nephew, they making money together and they living together, and he ain't keeping it just to himself for him to be over the top of him. They side by side with the money. He wasn't tripping at all. So go ahead and give me Genesis chapter 13, verse 1. We're gonna start off there.
God. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 13, verse 1. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him.
And who with him?
And Lot with him.
It wasn't that he went and got the money, him and his gal, and they moved on. He brought the young man with him. You know what I'm saying? See, that's one of them things that we lose, you know what I'm saying, in this society. You know what I'm saying? You got brothers that go get rich, and now they'll go get them a daughter of an oppressor, and then go stay to themselves over in Richland Hills somewhere and leave all their partners behind. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? But not Abraham. Abraham said, to hell with that. I'm going to take my girl, everything I got. And since I know that this brother ain't pocket watching, I'm going to take him with him because this is my nephew. This is my boy. He can come with me. You know what I mean? Go on.
Come. And to the south, verse 2. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. Verse 3. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai.
All right, hold on. And this just goes to show you, you know what I'm saying, even in our ancestry, we don't lead the hood. That's not our nature. That ain't nothing that we naturally do. It say he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning. From the start of it all, he went back to where he came from. with his partner who he been rolling with the whole time. So read on.
Con. Verse 4, unto the place of the altar, which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. Verse 5, and Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents.
See, there you go right there. So as Abram getting rich, he's not leaving his nephew out. He's not leaving him out. He's letting him, he got what all he got with him?
He had flocks.
He got money
and herds.
And well, first off, he got cars, he got money, and what else he got?
And tents.
And houses. So he just ain't making money and leaving them out. He letting them make money with him. He's also teaching them how to do it, and he's teaching them how to serve the Lord at the same time. Because that's who we are. Here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, as we continue to grow, we'll go pick up young brothers on the side, you know, as we're doing things and becoming righteous and making ourselves better. We have a young brother who we have with us, and we're showing him these same things. Look, this is what you got to do. This is how you do it. This is how you move. This is what you say. You know what I mean? This is how you move. You know, you be as wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, man. You keep moving. This is how we teach young brothers. And this is where we get that from our ancestor Abraham, man, because he's doing it right here with Lot. Read on.
Come. Verse 6. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together. For their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together.
Hold on. So right now, this is at a point where, you know, they in the land where they dwelling there, and they're amassing so much wealth. They're taking up so much land and so much wealth that it's seeming impossible for them to actually hold it together. It's seeming like they can't. So going forward, you know what I mean? Read verse 7.
Come. Verse 7. And there was a little strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle.
So there's strife in between the men that follow them. And the way you can see this set in today's time, you can see this in our gang culture, where you might see somebody rising up in power, and there's somebody who's already in power, but you got men that follow you, and you got men that follow him. So they, man, my leader this, my leader that, man, Abraham this, Abraham got more money than Lot. You see that with how we watch our rappers, people who care, who's into that type of stuff. That, oh well, this rapper got more money than this rapper. This rapper got a better Bentley than him. You know what I mean? So this is what their followers are doing. They're arguing amongst each other.
So, like, if I may add, and their herdsmen, they're trying to exhibit brotherhood themselves. They're trying to make their employer the best, or have the best piece of land to spot at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna brag on it. Okay, well, my boss is better than your boss. Just how a lot of y'all brag about y'all pastors. Oh, my pastor this. Oh, my pastor that. It's the same thing, the same division that these brothers are having in this verse right here. That's all I want to say.
And Salaki, what the brother bringing out, man, is heavy, because we shouldn't even be divvying up who's better than who, but because there's one man that's following the Lord, and that's Commander General YAHANNA.
Right.
So if your argument isn't why Commander General YAHANNA is the best leader for black folks, then your argument means nothing, because he stands on the same principles that our ancestor, our forefather Abraham stood on. So go ahead and read on. All right.
Come. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land.
That's like it. Hold on. Now you understand that the scriptures made note of the people that was living round about them. So the next verse after this is so heavy, because we as black folks, us and the Hispanics, we go through turmoil with one another. And then we still got to make note of the enemies that we have around us. So we having our quarrels, but we ain't even understanding that these quarrels we having is somebody that's watching us be divided. That they watching. It say who was around them?
The Canaanite and the Perizzite.
Two stinking African tribes of people is standing around them while they bickering, while they herdsmen are saying things against one another instead of being one. Give me verse 8. All
right. Verse 8. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee.
Let there be, because they bickering, because our herdsmen bickering, I ain't got no problem with you. I don't have any problem with you. That's the thing, like with us and the Christian. We sit out and we let the Christian know we ain't got no problem with you as a person, because our fight in this ain't carnal. I don't have anything against you. It's what you believe in. So Abraham don't have any problem with him, with Lot himself. Read on.
Come. And between my herdmen and thy herdmen.
Read on.
For we be brethren.
For we what?
Be brethren.
Because you a Christian and I'm in the UPK. We what?
Be brethren.
Because you Hispanic and I'm black. We what?
Brethren.
Because you're Native American and you're Hispanic. We what?
Brethren.
He ain't had no problem with him. It didn't matter. Even though they having problems, we can solve all this because we're brothers. Because we got, if you go back up to verse 7, and who else dwelled in the land?
And the Canaanite and the Perizzite.
Where they dwell at?
In the same land.
In America. Because the African and the white man and our oppressor live here in America with us. We got to understand that our gripe ain't with one another. Our gripe is not with each other. We're brothers. We brothers in this same land. That's what makes holding on to this truth so important, because we'll look at the things that other folks believe in or the things that they have, and carnally, those brothers outside the UPK would like to have problems with brothers in, oh, well, y'all in that coat. Oh, man, y'all always ragging on the oppressor. Hey, look, we ain't got no problem with y'all. We'll have a problem with y'all. We brothers. I don't have anything against you. You know what I mean? But this is that spirit of brotherhood, all the way from the beginning. This is from Abraham, letting him know, like, man, we good. Now read on to verse 9.
This is verse 9. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go right to the right. Mm-hmm. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go left.
So he let him choose. So that's that thing that we do here in the UPK. We go out there on the street corners and we talk to all types of people, man. You want to be a Christian? Okay, that's fine. You can be a Christian. I'm going to let you go that way. But you know what? I still pray for you. You still my brother. So I don't have any problem with you. You go your way. And you know what? As for me and my house, we going to serve the Lord. That's fine. So whichever way you go, I'm going the other way. That's where I'm going. Read on out.
Come, verse 10. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan. Mm-hmm. That is was well watered. That it was well watered everywhere.
Hold on. Now he looked up. Lot looked up. He looked and beheld on the plains of Jordan. It was well watered everywhere. It looked delicious, like how most of y'all Christians look when y'all look at y'all church as compared to the UPK. And look at it, and the thing is y'all look at y'all Christian pastor and y'all church because it's vibrant, it's beautiful. The pastor He preaching prosperity. Then you listen to one of our classes, and you hear the general say you're gonna go through some hurt. It's not well watered this way. It ain't. But we can beat it. But you know what? You want to go over there? You want to be a Christian? I'm not gonna stop you. Because I'm letting you know we don't have any problem with one another. I don't have a problem with you being I don't have a problem with you being a Muslim. I don't have, or from my men to your men, but since it is, separate. If y'all, if you have a problem with us UPK members, it's okay. Go ahead and separate. Because the thing is, the Lord is still gonna work. The Lord is gonna show you who he's with. And we're gonna keep on going further. Skip me down to verse matter of fact, read on.
Come. Before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest to Zoar. Verse 11. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain and pitched his tent towards Sodom.
Read on.
Verse 13. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly.
And the men of Sodom were wicked, and they sinned before the Lord exceedingly. That's y'all brothers that's not in the I.S.U.P.K. I don't care where you at, what path you think you follow, whether you Christian, Muslim, IUIC, GOCC, whatever. Y'all sinning before the Lord exceedingly. You sinning. You made a separation between yourself and us in front of the Lord, and the Lord is watching it all. He sees, and this isn't anything that Abraham, it's nothing that Abraham had to do with the choice that Lot made. Lot went and chose to go live with them. Ain't nobody make him go, because Abraham let him know it's no problem between us. We could work this out. Lot said to him with that, I want to go live over here with me and my riches and be by myself with me and my folks, the Most High in Christ, because we ain't supposed to be tied with any other nation. You know what I'm saying? So read that last verse over in give me verse 14.
Come, this is Genesis chapter 14, verse 14. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. Verse 15, for all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever.
Cut off right there. Now this is the Lord saying, now since he gone from you, even though it didn't matter, okay, that's no sweat. Now all the land that you see, I'm going to give it to you. And I'm going to give it to your seed. And I'm going to give it to your seed even thereafter. But see, Abraham, he's such an awesome brother. Go give me the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 21.
And Salaki, if I may add, if you read where Lot went to a place that was well watered, it was already ripe, so he can continue to do stuff easily.
Right.
Abraham was in the trenches.
Right.
So he gave him a choice, like, hey man, you do whatever, I take the scraps. And so the Lord is going to bless him for taking whatever's left over. Because Lot knew that, hey, man, I ain't got to do too much over here. You know what I'm saying? It's not too many crack houses over here.
All right.
It's not too many vacant buildings over here. So it's no vagabonds or anything that I'm gonna have to chase out.
Right.
So I'm gonna stay over here. So I'm gonna let Abram deal with all these people, man. I'm gonna let him clean all that up.
Right.
You know, that's all I want to add.
And what he's saying is so heavy, because when he looked out, you know, he saw it was cool. Like he went, they had already traveled everywhere together.
Right.
They had already been through it all. So Lot, he and that, like, It's a thing you gotta think about. Some of these brothers that you deal with, they think that they pulling one on you. They think that they so much better and so much righteous off the things that they do, but really, you just don't want to go through nothing hard. And like the brother said, Lot didn't want to go through anything hard. He knew that Abraham could make it, and the Lord even told Abraham, look at everything that you see. It's yours, and I'm gonna give it to your kids. You got that for me? 18 and 21.
Come. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 21. I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it.
Salaki. Go up to verse 20. Go up to verse 20. Give me verse 20.
Khan. This is Genesis chapter 18, verse 20. And the Lord said, because of the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous.
Hold on. Now, this is at a point where Lot and Abraham been separate. That's over 5 chapters. So that you can only imagine they've been separate for a good minute. Put your legs from out of that. I told you to stop that. They've been separate for a good minute. Lot been living in Sodom and Gomorrah for a time now, where they sinning all the way and they grieving the Lord. These brothers out here, they I mean, we understand sodomy. You understand? So the Lord is watching this abomination go on, and also that the brother a lot, his kinsman is there. So this is us in the UPK. We out here and we going up and down through the earth. We got camps in Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? You can only imagine what them brothers seeing in Atlanta. Them brothers is seeing whole she-males walk down past the camp, vexed, sore. The Lord is seeing this. And the thing is, them brothers still out there praying for all the wickedness that's going on. That the Lord still, man, read on. Give me that.
Verse 21. I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if not, I will know.
And the Lord say, if they really down there doing that, if they not down there doing it, if the cry up that I'm hearing is not true, I'ma know. But if they doing it, no sweat. Read on.
Come. Verse 22. And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom. But Abram stood yet before the Lord.
Read on.
Verse 23. And Abram drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked?
Now we understand that there is some good, wholesome brothers and sisters out there, which is why we go out every week to camp. Do you ever wonder why you always see a brother with a shield on his neck in your bar? It ain't because he just out there really trying. I mean, he might be trying to enjoy himself, but you know what? It's enjoyment in doing the work of the Lord. So we go in all of these places and we trying to find who can be righteous. This is why we fishing. We fishing because we want to find righteous people. Because give me the scripture and now, matter of fact, read on. Give me that. Because Abraham is such a righteous brother. His brotherhood is so strong, he begins to plead with the Most High. And which is what we do every week. We do this every day. We plead with the Most High to wake brothers and sisters up, that we need more time. But read on. You got that for me?
Come. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 24. Peradventure, there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein?
He's starting to bargain with the Lord. He's bargaining with the Lord at this moment. If there's 50, Would you still destroy them wicked? I mean, if they there, Lord, I know you're awesome, but if it's 50 people, man, would you spare them? And what the Lord say?
Come, verse 25. That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
He's beseeching him right now. That man, you gonna treat the wicked just like the righteous, and you gonna treat the righteous just like the wicked? You gonna kill them together? I mean, man, you the judge of the earth. Ain't you gonna be right? Ain't you gonna be fair, Lord? And the Lord, he knows Abraham. He understands the spirit behind the brother. He knows that he's a righteous brother. So read what the Lord got to say.
Come, verse 26. And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes.
And the thing is that for their sake, if there's actually 50 there, I'm going to spare the place for their sakes. I'm not going to destroy them utterly. I'm going to let those 50 make it. Read on.
Come, verse 27. And Abram answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes.
He said, I'm nothing. I've taken upon myself to speak to the Lord, and I'm nothing. I am nothing but dust. He's saying, you could just blow me away, Lord. I'm really nothing. And I'm taking it upon myself to speak for you, for them. And it goes all the way down. Oh, let me see. Yeah. Keep on reading. Keep on going. We keep on going with this.
Come, verse 28. Peradventure, there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for the lack of 5? For lack of 5. And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it.
Keep going.
Verse 29. And he spake unto him yet again, and said, peradventure, there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto them, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure, there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there.
And the thing is that Abraham is finna bargain with the Lord until he can count all the way down to the actual nuclear family that's his blood. He's trying to count all the way down to Lot, his wife, and his children. That this is what Abraham's goal is, to get all the way down. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much that's what we do every day in the I.S.U.P.K, man. We're trying to get down to the point where we won't. Okay, give me the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 1. I'm gonna tell you what we pray for. You know, now this is in the wake of Martin Luther King Day, because we hope for something. You got that for me, Romans 10 and 1? Give me that.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
For who?
For Israel.
That they what?
That they might be saved.
My heart and my prayer's desire is for Israel, that they might be saved. Not just me, not just my household. I want everybody to be saved. You know what I'm saying? We want all Israel. Matter of fact, give me 11, give me Romans 11 and 26. Give me 11 and 26, man.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written. there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
Now that's right here. We want all Israel to be saved. So that way, when Christ returns, he's going to turn away all ungodliness from Israel, man. That's brotherhood right there, man. That when you see yourself in a righteous state, that this work right here, you let it be undone. You keep going, you keep your zeal lit, you keep your fire going, because your mind, just like how Lot's mind, he didn't want everybody. This just shows you the Christian mindset that they tried to put on the Bible. Even Abraham, since it's so much a Christian book, Abraham didn't want everybody out of Sodom and Gomorrah. He went from 50 down to 10 or 5. Go read that? Read that last one. Where you got? I think it went down to 5 and 29 was.
Let me say,
Abraham went down to almost 5 people.
Yeah, we was at 30.
Was at 30? Give me
but as we keep reading,
give me 32. Give me, what is this? Yeah, give me 32. Abraham went from 50 down to 10. Read that.
Come on, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 32. And he said, "Oh, let not the Lord be angry."
Stop. He said, "Lord, please don't be angry with me. Please don't be. I know I keep on bargaining with you. And I know you are the righteous judge you are." Read on.
"And I will speak yet but this once."
Last time. This is my last time. I promise you, Lord. This the last thing I'm about to say.
"Peradventure 10 shall be found there."
If you find 10, just 10, just 10. I mean, because I know that Lot is there. And the Lord knows what Abraham is doing, because the Lord understands how we feel about our family. We love our families. Everybody, all of us got family. We all got family. But yo, pray every day. Every time you face east, man, I hope this brother come into the truth. Man, even though they might not, that just shows how much brotherhood you hold inside your heart, inside yourself, to say, God, man, I hope this brother come into the truth, man. How many of us got partners that said work? Brothers who we like to talk to, commune, he actually listen to what we got to say. It's like, man, I hope this brother come into the truth. And the Lord understand. That's why the Lord is not here right now. Say if the 2000 prophecy would have came true, how many of us right now would be into the truth, like General Muhammad said? How many of us would actually be here?
Right.
If the head priest prophecy would have came, and he knew he had to come out there and do it. But this is why you ought to get out there and push this truth that much harder. Not anybody that's faking like in the truth. Not no I.U.I.C. or none of them other cats. You're not in the truth. You really don't care. Because if you cared, you wouldn't tie yourselves to Africans. If you cared, you wouldn't have stood up on a day that was given to a man for a lust for white women. Y'all down here in San Antonio marching. Y'all cats ain't got no brotherhood for real. The dream behind Martin Luther King has plagued blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the worst outside of crack and Christianity itself. It's hurt us the most because it was the dream that, you know what, you can tie yourselves to another nation of people. Do you understand that Abraham and Lot were in between two other nations of people, stayed together? And then when they couldn't stay together no more, it wasn't let's go tie ourselves to them. It was let's be separate from each other, because these two folks are round about us and we can't have them watching us bicker. We can't have that. So us blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have our oppressors round about us. And we got to understand that we can't bicker in between one. Even if you, because we're not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite organization or
That's
group.
right.
But the thing is that being amongst ourselves while the rest of the nation is watching, it makes no sense. Y'all know where the home of the truth is. We know that. Y'all know that. So instead of bickering with us, come join us. We got the Passover coming up, April 9th. It is the decree from Commanding General YAHANNA that all camps, groups, or whatever you call yourself, you can come. You don't have to align yourself with yourself. You can come be with people who know the way to go. You come find yourself here. So give me that. I got another scripture, man. Give me the next scripture. Uh, Give me the next scripture. Hold up, give me 1 second. Give me the next scripture in
Genesis.
not Genesis. Give me the book of John, chapter 15, verse 12, man. In the book of John, chapter 15, verse 12.
Come. This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 12. This is my covenant, Salaki. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. How did Christ love, man? Christ put his life on the line, man. That's what we do out here. When we get up there and we teach on that pulpit of wood every week. We love our brothers just like Christ loved us. Read on.
Come. Verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this,
Mm-hmm.
that a man lay down his life for his friends.
That a man do what?
Lay down his life for his friends.
That a man lay down his life for his friends, man. So where do you think Christ got that from, man? Where do you think Christ got that from? We gonna pull it out. We're gonna pull it out right here, man. Goddamn. Give me the book of Genesis. Where is set up? Let me get that. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Give me the book of Genesis, chapter 13. Nah, give me the book of Genesis, chapter. Hold up. Give me. Nah, I think it's chapter 14. Give me the book of Genesis, chapter 14, verses. Yeah, give me the book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 11.
Come. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 11.
And just a backdrop on what the brother finna read. So as Lot went to go dwell, and this before the Lord even went to go destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. This is in 14, man. This is in 14. So Lot, he goes to go dwell in Sodom and Gomorrah, but there's a war breaking out. And Lot's he's there, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, Abraham is knowing this. So read that for me out.
Come. Verse 11. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their victuals, and went their way.
And they just dispersed. They went, hit the lick, and bounced. They was gone. Now give me that. Give me the rest of that. Give me that 13.
Verse 13. And there came to one that he had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner, Salaki. And these were confederate with Abram.
And the thing is that people understand who we are, and they know how we get down. So you ever been at your job, man, and you might have a heathen come up to you and talk to you about somebody who's speaking against your a brother of yours or a friend of yours, man? There's a scripture. Give me that in Proverbs, man. That when a man's ways pleaseth the Lord, man. You got that from me? You know what I'm talking about, right? There we go. Give me the book of Proverbs 16 and 7. Because now these ain't these ain't Abraham's people that's coming up to him, letting him know that his brother gone. These ain't his folks. What does it say in Proverbs 16:7?
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him.
When a man ways please the Lord, he maketh his enemies to even be at peace with him. These is people that ain't got no league with Abraham. Abraham ain't sitting around signing treaties for them to be confederate with him. They see his power. They see his might and his wealth. And they understand that, you know what? They came up and they've taken everything and even his family. So with them taking his family, you know what? We might need him. So they go to Abraham and say, hey, look, they got everything. They got it all. They even got your family. So read 14.
And when Abram heard that his brother was taken.
And when he heard that his brother was taken, kind of like how we do, when we hear that our brothers and sisters get shot, when we hear that, you know, brothers get killed in broad daylight, what do?
He armed his trained servants.
Commanding General YAHANNA arms his trained servants. General Muhammad, he makes a class for us to, hey, look, this is the breakdown on this. Take this to the streets with you this week. This is what we do. This is One West. This is the UPK. When we hear that, when we hear that a oppressor walks into a Christian church and blows away a sister's father in the church, this is the UPK. You know what I'm saying? We go ahead and we arm ourselves. These men that sit up in front of you, these officers, they are trained servants of Commanding General YAHANNA. They are trained servants of the Most High. And we go out there and we do, and read on out. You got that.
Con. Born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. Verse 15. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Hobah.
And we're all over. We're not just on the East Coast. We not just, you know, down south. We not just we all over America. We divided. So when these things happen, we come up, we study by night, so we can get out there on that street corner every week, so we can blaze and we can put their transgression against us in their face. This is what we do. This is what we do for our brother. So even when you walk into a Christian church and you shoot a Christian, guess what? You shot my brother. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to gather up some men like me. We going to gather together and we going to hit that street corner. And it don't matter whether you did it in New Jersey, Texas, California, goddamn the UK, Chicago. It don't matter. It don't matter because they're my brothers. Even though they chose to go a way of wickedness, and even though they dwell in that church where the pastor is a full-on sodomite, where the deacon's daughter is a full-on whore, we ain't tripping about that. That don't matter because there ain't no problem between us. Give me that. Our weapons of warfare, they not carnal, man. Give me that. It's just a stretch. That's not anything that we war against. That's not a problem. Our problem is the things that you believe in.
To the pulling down of strongholds.
Our weapons of warfare ain't what?
Are not carnal.
They not carnal. So like when Abram told Lot, my beef ain't with you. My beef ain't, this is small. What we did, but you know what? If it's something that separates us, let it separate. But still, I gotta go to war for the principles of what? Read that part. Pulling down the strongholds.
To the pulling down of strongholds.
To the pulling down of the strongholds, the things that's in your mind, man. Read on.
Verse 5. casting down imaginations.
Your imagination that smoking weed is cool, that sleeping with another brother's wife is all right, even though they not, ring married and got the paper written up. Read on.
And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God.
And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, even though you might be in Kemet, nigga. Even though you might be in Kemet, you know what? My beef ain't with you. It's with what you believe in. Even though you feel like, getting money and leaving the ghetto is what's important to you, you leaving brothers behind. You're not checking on your people when you do that. You know that you selling yours out, man. This is, excuse me, this is our problem in our community, man. That we want to battle with one another. But that's not what happened between Abraham and Lot. When they separated, he didn't want to fight with his brother. He said, "Nah, man, I don't want to fight. I'm not going to fight with you." And even when they came and they took Lot, and what did it say? It took all, let's read that part where it took Lot. Read that for me. 12.
And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed.
They took Lot because he dwelt in Sodom and his goods and just left. That's what they did. And then when Abraham heard it, he went to go put his life on the line for that brother. How many Christians out there, man, when they heard that they were trying to blame the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge for that shooting out there in Jersey, how many Christians stood up and said, "Man, them brothers is righteous, man"? Right. How many of them actually put their faith to the test? You couldn't and you wouldn't. But when it came time to, Commanding General YAHANNA stood up for every so-called Israelite, stood up to let them know that, hey, look, that ain't got nothing to do with us. And if you would have been learning the scriptures in here, you wouldn't have failed prey to something like that. You wouldn't have learned that type of knowledge, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's just not what we teach. Give me what scripture was reading? Was reading something in Corinthians? Okay, nah, give me the book of give me just a sec. Give me the book of give me the book of Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus 33 and goddamn and 14. No, matter of fact, give me we're gonna go into another instance of brotherhood, man. Matter of fact, give me Genesis. Give me where Lot invites the brothers into Sodom, man. Give me that. Cause we just gonna keep on touching on brotherhood and how brothers are to conduct themselves. You got that from? It's in 14. It's where not in 14. Matter of fact, Abraham said, "Bless the Most High God." Brought back. Now give me 16. Let me see. Go read me down to 16. We're gonna go there.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 16. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot.
And he brought back all the goods, and he brought back his brother Lot. And the thing is that you got something out? What you got? What's up?
So, like, how far was like Abraham from where Lot was?
How far was he? Okay, so okay, it's no real measure up to how far he was, but you got to understand that. Okay, let me see. Let me pull up a map, because maybe if I pull up a map, it might put it in perspective. So Lot went across the Jordan. So he went across a whole river from him. Abraham faced the opposite way. And the Lord said that all this here is yours. And he went that way. So he was in the midst of, there were 5 kingdoms in between them that were all in war. So when that war went about, Abraham turned from where he was at to go all the way back to the east to go get Lot. Go ahead.
So during that war, they didn't even go towards where Abraham was to try to attack him.
Lie.
But they took, because he was with Christ. He was with God.
Well, basically that right there, the Lord was with Abraham. So when you got the Lord, like I said, like I brought the scripture out in Proverbs, when a man's ways pleaseth the Lord, even your enemy's gonna be at peace with you. So when they took Lot and everything he had, because Abraham was dwelling amongst, I guess what we would call heathens, and Abraham, you know how brothers is when we go to a job and everybody want to be your friend, especially nigga in the UPK. Nigga in the UPK, you the coolest cat on the job. Anybody who got a problem, they can come talk to you. You ain't gonna cuss out white folks at the job just because they white, because you understand, be wise as serpents and harmless as a dove. You understand these things. You understand the most integral things about the scriptures, so you behave in a certain way that when things do arise, people don't come to you with the jazz first. They go to niggas who are unlearned because they understand that it's something different about you. So with Abraham, they came to him and say, they got your brother. They got him and they got all his stuff. Now, Abraham, being the brother that he is, he didn't go to save everybody and all they things. Whose possessions did he go get?
Lots.
Read out the scriptures.
I'm starting from 11. Verse 11.
No, who's down at 16?
Okay. Verse 16. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot and his goods.
And his what?
And his goods.
And his goods. So he not only went and got his brother, but he went and got all the Lot's stuff. He went and got everything that belonged to Lot. And what else?
And the women also.
And the women also.
And the people.
And the people. Because that's how righteous of a person who our ancestor is, who we should be like, especially when it comes to our family, first and foremost, because he didn't do this for everybody. He only did this because of Lot. There's things that we'll only do because our people are involved. That's the most integral part of being your own people, is that you'll look to only care about your own. He didn't say he went and got all the sodomites and all the people of Gomorrah. He went and brought back Lot. All the goods, first and foremost, that they might have taken, because them people, who the hell cares about any stinking Canaanite? Who the hell cares? But first and foremost, he went and got Lot, his goods, his people, his wife, and everything that went with Lot, because he cared about his brother, man.
And he went farther than Sodom and Gomorrah, because in 11 it said that they took him away. And then when you read down at 14, that Abram at the time pursued them all the way unto Dan. So that's probably a city further than Sodom and Gomorrah. So like if that's in today's time, if somebody took you to San Antonio, you know what I'm saying? But then I went to San Antonio, but they still going, so I find you way in Amarillo. You know, from Houston to Amarillo, that's a good 8 hours.
You know what I'm saying?
Driving. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, Baki? You got something? Okay, come. All right, so now let's give me over to another lesson in brotherhood, man. Cause Lot, he wasn't. I mean, even though Lot went and dwelled with some homosexuals, man. Even though he did, there was still things that Lot did that was commendable. You know what I mean? So give me the scripture where Lot goes and he has the brothers who coming over there to smoke out Sodom and Gomorrah, man. It's after 16. Because he's going to appear to them. He's going to appear to him, man. It's after 18. I mean, Salaki. It's 19 and it's 19 and 1. We had 19 and 1, man.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 1. And there came two angels, Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground.
And now Lot, he saw some brothers just walking into his city, man. He saw them, he went to go meet them and bowed his face before the ground. Because that's how he greeted them brothers with all subjectiveness, man. That's what we do when brothers come from out of town and they come here to Houston to come be here at the barbecue or what have you. We just come, you greet your brothers, man. But Lot did more than that. You know what I'm saying? Read up. Matter of fact, and I just want to give a little bit of backdrop. And now this is afterwards that, you know, when Lot was able to go back and dwell in Sodom and Gomorrah, that he saw, you know what I'm saying? Let me see. Where's that now? Because we read all the way in 14 that Lot, he went and dwelled with them. And the thing is that the Lord, matter of fact, that was in 13. Give me that in 13 and 13 and 13 and 13. So it's not as if Lot didn't understand who he was around. Lot understood who he was around. This is who he chose to be with. This is the kicker part about these Christians and everybody. Lot chose, and even when it is, read that.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 13, verse 13. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly.
Right there. They were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. They wasn't just your average sinner. Like these Christians, they not just your average sinner. Now go back to where I had you at in 19. So you know what I'm saying? They were sinners. So when Lot saw these brothers come, he knew that these brothers was different from the rest. It's like when people see us walk into any bar. They see you with the shields, they see you with the glory, walking with the spirit of the Lord and all brotherhood. They understand you ain't no wicked nigga. When you're at your job, they understand you not no wicked nigga. So they come and they bow before you. Obviously, I just got a story that he tells, you know, every now and again. Well, when people see them, they say, man, y'all look like power. So when Lot saw these brothers, they looked like power. And he bowed himself before them. Read on.
Come, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 1. Salaki, verse 2. And he said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways.
This these brothers say, come into our bar. When we go to Austin, come into our bar for free. Come chill. Get you a free drink. And then when you're done, y'all go y'all way. That's how we get treated when we go places. Especially when we go amongst, I guess, the world, you would say. Come in here. Come get free drinks.
And Salaki, I'm a witness to that, you know, because I didn't make too many camps in Austin, but the couple that I did make, man, and that is very true, man. We go in one bar. It's a line of people waiting outside. They getting searched, they getting ID'd and everything. But the of the bar, he steps outside on the next door. Oh no, these brothers good. They come on in, and then he just points to the bartender, and the bartender I already know. They got however many of it. They got cups lined up, making us a drink. We digging in our water. Oh no, you good. That one on me. That one on me. And I'm looking like,
just go down to verse 3 and read that. Read verse 3.
Come. Verse 3. And he pressed upon them greatly.
He pressed upon them greatly. They beg us to come into their bar. They big. Sometimes we like, nah, we good. We just read the scripture, man. Read the scripture.
And they turned in unto him and entered into his house.
As a matter of fact, go back up to verse 2 and go down to, and they said, go ahead what they said. And they said,
and they said, nay.
We're like, nah, we all right. We good. We'll handle us. We good. We all right. He pulling at the wallet. Nah, we good. We don't want your free drink. What they say?
But we will abide in the street all night.
We gonna chill out here all night. We good. We done been at camp all day. We just relaxing, man. Now read verse 3.
In verse 3, and he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
Made them a feast. They gave us free drinks. They gave us free beers. We drank them. But see what else? See, the thing is, man, when we round about, there's wickedness going on. But you see, read that. Keep going.
Come, verse 4. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house around.
Read on.
Both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
So people from all over the city, they see us. Sometimes they want to flock into the bar because they just seen a whole group of us. But we not your average, man. Read on. Read what Lot did, man.
Come, verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
And the thing is, man, anybody that know the scriptures or any brother that holler at sisters, you know what I'm saying, you understand what that get to know means. When you ask a sister, man, let me get to know you. I just, let me get your number, man. I want to get to know you. Let me get to know you. This is the thing right here. We're so much alike our ancestors in this Bible, it's funny that we don't even understand that this is us. That even when you invite people into your home, you'll tell somebody that you got a brother from out of town who comes to your family barbecue, and he might get into it with you because you tell him, hey, look, man, look, don't do him like that, man. This is my guy. This is my dog right here. He don't do that. Don't be doing that around. Or you might have your girl that, you know, you bring her around your family and tell you, look, y'all tripping right now, man. I don't want her to see this. This is basically what Lot is going on with these brothers of Sodom and Gomorrah. He telling them, come on, man, get off this. Like, don't try to do this to them right now. These are our ancestors. This is how they respond to certain things going down. Read on that. Verse 6.
Verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him.
He closed the door up after him. I'm not even finna let them hear this wickedness that y'all got going on. You take your mama outside and doing this right here in front of them, man. I got company, man. Y'all doing this. Read on.
Verse 7. And said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
Don't do this, man. Not y'all being too wicked, man. Y'all, brother, y'all being too wicked. This is too wicked. I know I know what you mean by you want to get to know these brothers, man. Y'all don't do this wickedly, man. Don't do this. Read on.
Come, verse 8. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man.
He got 2 daughters that ain't never slept with a man. This is how now mind you, Lot ain't of the seed of Abraham. He's not of the seed of the promise, but he's been with Abraham for quite some time. So he understands that how brothers ought treat one another. So they trying to get to know men. He say, nah, that's not something that men do. Take these daughters. Take my daughters. Just do, read on.
Come, let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes.
Do to my daughters what seems good to you in your eyes. Do whatever the hell to them you feel like doing. But what? Read on. Only unto
Con.
these.
Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
Because they came in unto me, please, 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 please. Don't do them anything. Don't do them anything unjust. Because Lot understands he like I say, he's not of Abraham, but he does have an understanding of brotherhood at this point. That is whatever whatever you see fit to do, not to these brothers. These are good men. These are good men. They're not from here. Do this to my daughters. They ain't never known a man. Don't do this. Read on.
Come, verse 9. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came into sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man.
And now they're saying, you ain't even one of us, calling us a brother. You came here to live. You a stranger. You a stranger too. So we finna get up in there and get at them and probably get at you. Read on.
Come. And came near to break the door.
Right.
Verse 10. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them,
Right.
and shut to the door.
Right.
Verse 11. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness.
See, the thing is, anybody who at least begins to acknowledge that Christ is black and that that the I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth, and that you don't let people speak wickedly against us because we righteous men. You know what we'll do for you? We'll pull you into the house, and then we'll strike people inside you with madness, with blindness, because we know they can't see anyway, and we know that they not trying to see. That's like when you first meet that brother, or you start watching the I.S.U.P.K and people begin to say bad things. Oh, they a cult. Oh, them niggas, they just only get on the white man. You know what we'll do? We'll pull you in. Only way we pull you in, we'll protect you, just like these brothers did to Lot. Now, Lot ain't stay with them brothers after Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed. But you know what? The thing is that his level of brotherhood was on point enough for him to be protected. That's what the I.S.U.P.K is, man. We're a safe haven. We are a protection for those without protection, man. When you amongst these Christians and these Kemet Kemet lovers, Africa worshipers, or whatever, we'll do just that. We'll pull you in, and we'll see to it that you ain't destroyed like the rest of them. But that's if that's what you want. But you have to acknowledge that, hey, look, you can't you can't treat us, or you can't treat, you know, men of the Lord without brotherhood. Lot understood that these were men of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the Commanding General YAHANNA. Gonna pass the class over to Precinct Officer Ron for the announcements. You got it up.
Come. We are the Israelite School Universal. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Roof for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, If a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, out of the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew. Mayasharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is Purim, the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, which is Saturday, March 7th, and Sunday, March 8th, 2020, out of the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 through 31. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And these are the security announcements.
All right, with that, we're going to give a courteous salute to the brothers. I imagine. Men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabrakatah. Yasmatat, Sar, turn to the sisters. Gonna give a courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, stand up. Men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shemal Atam Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yasmatat, dismissed.
All I'm talking to, we're clear.